Welcome back to Summoner's Choice, where you, the community, got to choose Hercules as your champion to be added to Marvel Contest of Champions, and we're following the process every step of the way. Now, last episode, we talked about taking a 2D sketch and bringing it into 3D space. Today, we get a peek into the animation process, everything from his bread and butter combos of the basic kit to his special attacks. And to help us understand the process better, we've got Cam on deck to explain his creative process on how he animated Hercules. Also, we have Brooklyn in the house, our resident character art QA tester, to let us know how these animation reviews are done. Let's check them out. Cam, I have been looking forward to this day for a long time. You have absolutely amazing animation skills. I've been following your work, and it's breathtaking. Storm, Pyramid X, Strife, Apocalypse, Red Goblin, Guardian, Mole Man, and Doctor Doom, just to name a few, and I can tell you, I'm not the only one fawning over them.
Thanks, Dave. Hi guys, I'm Cam from the animation team here at Gaban Vancouver, and I'm really excited to have this platform to give the community a behind-the-scenes look on how the animators bring the champions to life in the contest. As animators, we love what we do, and we love to see how the community reacts to our work.
I think the reaction from the community is going to be wow. And so can you kind of walk us through this whole thing? Like, how do you even start such an involved process, and how long does it take?
Yeah, for sure. The animation could take anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the complexity and various requests from different departments. It's our job as animators to take all that information and just translate it into like a living, breathing character. Bringing a champion into Marvel Contest of Champions requires a lot of time, research, and willingness to get like a little goofy. These characters are larger than life, right? And you kind of have to embody that in order to bring these guys into the contest. When it comes to Hercules, I got my inspiration from pro wrestlers, various grapplers from different fighting games, and even home run hitting pro baseball players.
Pro baseball players? All right, you're gonna have to explain that one. So, let me ask you, when you're making these like basic attacks, is it just something you animate and just send it on in?
Yes and no. When it comes to our lights and mediums, there are to a specific metric, so our job there is to make sure that the gameplay feels good, first and foremost. When it comes to something like our special attacks, what we want to do is nail down the animation beats first, which are major visual key points in the champion's animations, which there's a lot of iteration.
How many iterations would you say you go through before presenting it for a wider review?
I go through as many iterations as long as I feel like I've captured the character of that champion. Other times you completely miss the mark and you have to redo the set 6 or 7 times.
Wow, you're talking about the entire set, basic moves, specials, everything, 6 or 7 times?
Yeah.
I gotta say, I had a chance to see your work in action on my last visit over there when you were working on Apocalypse. Definitely some cool stuff. Now, in episode 1, Kabam Broccoli mentioned that he really wanted skilled players to take advantage of Hercules' kit in a way that was using far-reaching attacks or using skilled things like intercepts and parries and stuff like that. Now, how has that played into your process?
So usually a champion designer will make the requests before the brainstorms for how they foresee the champion being used. This is usually if they want the champion to be primarily an attacker or a defender. My job is to translate that the best way possible. So for Hercules, I wanted to make sure that his heavy attack had a long reach, his specials are brooding, as well as his basic attacks have good distance on them so they can be used for something like intercepts.
I see, so that's pretty advanced for basic attacks. Now, can you walk me through the special attacks? Because I still haven't heard anything about those pro baseball players.
No problem, Dave. For the special one, I drew inspiration from some of the best boxers and brawlers. He does a meaty right hook followed by 2 quick lefts. Then he winds up in a lariat and clashes his bracers together and does a huge blast. So that was super fun to work on. For the special 2, I drew inspiration from Olympic sports. I wanted to reference something like the hammer toss. I really liked how that looked, so I ended up having him bring out his mace, spin it kind of like a hammer toss, and then when he throws up the mace, he jumps up and slams it down, really hoping that players have fun with that move and they get some big yellow numbers out of it. Then for the special 3, we always want to go big, right? This is where the animators get to like kind of flex that muscle. This is kind of where like I referred to that pro baseball player. And then I used discus to kind of like throw the opponent up in the air, and then he just has a lot of time to just, dust his boots off, right? Kind of get like warmed up a little bit, and then just like bam, just cracks the guy. And I really wanted to like showcase that big hit, so you'll get to see that. Gives him a good old goofy smile. Also for Hercules, he has a lot of personality, right? This guy is he's bigger than life, right? So we wanted to showcase that personality anywhere we could. So if you look at the victory, the front end, crystal opening animations, he always kind of has a little bit of personality to him. And I really wanted to capture that and show him a lot of love because the summoners voted him, he should have that love.
That is absolutely amazing, Cam. I can't wait to see the final product as we haven't yet seen VFX added in, and I heard that is quite the tasty treat. So, thank you so much for taking some time out to join us and walk us through this process. Now, do you have any advice for any aspiring animators out there?
Thanks, Dave, for having me on. And yes, the one thing I can actually share with any aspiring animators out there is just to go do it, start animating and express yourself. Animators are inherently creative people, and if you have an idea that you think is good, share it with the world. And all I can tell you is that if you love what you're doing, it'll be really hard to stop. So get out there and start creating. Anyway, that's all for me. Thanks again, Dave, and I'll see you next time.
Okay, so we just saw Cam's process in creating the animation for Hercules, but it does have to go through reviews, and I've got Brooklyn here with us to let us know exactly how that process works. But first, Brooklyn, how cool is this?
Definitely very cool. Cam and our entire animation team are super talented, and it always amazes me that even after 200 champions, they keep doing something new and keeping it fresh.
So tell me what the team is looking for when you're running through these animation reviews. Cam mentioned that he needed to lock in some poses, but he was doing a lot of iteration.
Oh, for sure. Our art directors and animation leads have some pretty strict standards of what makes it in the game. We're looking for hit frames. Are they dynamic? Do they read really well in our game? We think player first, so we take a look at what the special attacks and mayonnaise to make sure they embody what the champion represents, as well as does it feel good visually as a player to use.
Speaking of which, what exactly do you do to tweak the movement if the character's not hitting the mark visually?
We have to consider a lot of things like frame requirements and metrics. For blocks and heavy attacks, they're quite specific. Sometimes we go back and forth on a move that might look really cool, but it doesn't quite flow the way we want it to. Toss in props like swords, maces, or shoulder pads, and that adds a whole extra layer of complexity because we have to still stay within our frame requirements while translating movement smoothly in a way that feels visually good.
How many reviews does it take to create a champion like this? And then what are the next steps?
It usually takes about 2 to 3 per character. It's really exciting to watch champions evolve as animations become more polished. From here, Hercules is ready to have VFX applied, and then it's Hype City.
So I've heard, and I can't wait to see it. Brooklyn, thank you so much for breaking down the animation review process. And as I understand it, we're going to see you again so you can break down how champion art QA testing actually works.
That's right. I'm really looking forward to it. Thanks for having me, Dave.
Anytime. Well, there you have it, summoners. It's all coming together for Hercules. Now, remember to tune in next episode where we visit the champion designer for Hercules, Kabam Broccoli, and see where he landed on the champion's kit. You don't want to miss it. Now, if you liked the video, and I hope that you did, click like, comment, subscribe, and share. And remember, we'll see you in the battleground.